Should you summon an Arlecchino and Zhongli? No. But seriously though, there is a reason to summon for Arlecchino, and there is a reason to summon for Zhongli. Now, Arlecchino, the only reason you should summon on her is basically because you like her, and you gotta understand, she's not gonna age well at this point. She is already aged, she will fall off. There's not really much else to say about that. So, that's kind of where we're at. You like the character, and you get her. Now, we could talk about Zhongli. I think older characters will get buffed very soon. I don't see these older characters staying like this forever. I may make a whole video on it. We'll see. But Zhongli, that is the main reason I would say summon on him. Because you feel like you are like confident these characters will get buffs and they will be super good. Now, how Hoyo will go about buffing them, we'll see. But I can tell you right now, Zhongli is going to be very good overall. Like just overall very good when he gets, you know, whatever buffs that he's getting. Because, well, Zhongli is a, basically, we've already had this situation happen when he was bad. He's the only character, or at least I'm pretty sure he's the only character that's ever been changed after release. Just flat out, like, after they released him, people did not like him so much that they literally changed him and made him a character who lasted for 4 years. People were using this guy in Fontaine. Natlin has made him pretty bad because they actually started releasing other shielders that can do his job. And actually, the character on the banner right here, Lanyan, is kind of the character who can replace Zhongli. I just don't use Lanyan, so I have no real experience, but people do love to talk about how Lanyan basically replaces Zhongli on all his teams. And when you look at it on paper, it kind of is like, oh, she's an animo character. Oh, her shield is actually stronger than his. That's 40% res shred and a stronger shield. He has 20% res shred. The only thing is that Dendra wouldn't be there, right? You know, maybe physical wouldn't be there. But overall, yeah, no, Zhongli is kind of not worth summoning for in his current state. You're basically only summoning for if he gets it buffed. But as I've talked about Lanyan, really good pickup if you do decide to summon for Arlecchino, right? I don't recommend, again, Zhongli, but Arlecchino's banner, I mean, you have Arlecchino here, you have Yunjin, and you have Rosaria. That technically is a team. You can work that out as a team where you're going ahead and you're using Rosaria. Now, Rosaria is a little weird because Lanyan would be using Viridescent, and you would want Cryo Aura to be applied and to not really swirl Pyro. So it's a little bit of an issue, right? It's just a little bit of an issue. But Rosaria here, you know, she can be used to melt, but honestly, I wouldn't. I would just go ahead and use Vape at that point, you know. But Rosaria is a melt potential character, right? She can work with Arlecchino. She gives extra crit rate to Arlecchino, and especially on melt teams, I'll tell you right now, that matters a lot. Because one Arlecchino normal for me does like 600,000 damage, and then I don't crit, and it does maybe 200,000. So you're literally tripling your damage, and, you know, the Rosaria crit rate value that she provides it's really good. Yeah, and then we have Yunjin, kind of an awful character at this point. This character has not scaled well. That's just what flat buffers do. They do not scale well, and that's kind of where, you know, Arlecchino is, because that just is where she's at. Then we can talk about the weapon banner a little bit. Arlecchino's weapon's great for her, but get her C1 above it because, well, Arlecchino's C1 provides interruption resistance, which is just better, and overall the damage difference between her C1 and her weapon is very negligible. It's literally less than 1%, and it's in favor of her weapon, but just take the less than 1% change, guys, and go ahead and get yourself some interruption resistance. You'll thank me later. So now we can talk about the 4 stars because, well, Vortex Vanquisher is possibly the worst weapon there ever existed. So now we can talk about the 4 stars, and that's not really good. I mean, you have Dragon's Bane, which is good for Hyper Bloom Raiden, which is relevant right now because, well, they released Lauma. And Raiden, you know, she was there. She was like, yeah, I'm out of being your Hyper Bloom, and Lauma released. And Lauma release, she's no longer nearly, like, there's no competition. It's just used EM Raiden. It's a sad thing. But, you know, sacrificial fragments can be good if you're someone who has Lauma, right? Just putting that on her for extra elemental mastery. It's not awful. Although she does have a free-to-play craftable weapon. So I don't know if I would use sacrificial fragments. And then we have the weapon banner exclusives, which, to be honest, not impressed with. Although, HP scaling sword right here. That is a very rare thing to have. And also, HP scaling claymore. And then it's a attack scaling bow. Overall, don't summon on this weapon banner, because it's just not worth it. You might get Vortex Vanquisher. You might. And I mean, listen, I have some pretty bad, you know, weapons on my account because of my summoning choices. Like, I do. So, you know, I would consider Primordial Jade Cutter a bad weapon, because a lot of the times when for my entire account's history, but for a lot of the times, I just never needed to go ahead and actually use Primordial Jade Cutter. So this has been a pretty unuseful weapon. It's very universal, but it's very unuseful for me because I have these 5-star weapons, right? But like I've made, there are some bad times on my account. There are, no doubt about it. There just are. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. I just don't recommend summoning on this weapon banner. We do have Durin also coming out, which, you know, I don't want to jinx it, but he could be a DPS. It's possible. I would imagine he's more of a support. Could be both. But, you know, I would imagine that Arlecchino also still won't, like, she's like, oh, right now she's second best. Guys, you gotta understand, this character is now a year old. Almost 2 years old. It is nowhere near out of the realm of, honestly, it's likely. If Durin has DPS in his kit, it's likely that he is just better than Arlecchino. I'm not, you know, it's likely. Better than Mavuika? I mean, we're already considering that Nefer might be better than Mavuika with Columbina releasing. That's another thing. You have Columbina releasing. Do you really want to risk losing Columbina for Arlecchino? I mean, I would, but like, that's me, all right? She's literally my profile picture. So yeah, that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.